Welcome to our new moon Sangha. This is May 11th, 2021, and we have the new moon in Taurus just a couple minutes ago now. So as we begin, our sweet sister Gigi is going to tell us a little more about our astrology, and then we will get into an anointing practice. And then for those of you who are going to stay here with us, we will take some time to share. So Miss Gigi, would you like to take it away?
Yeah, thank you. Good day, everyone, and blessings into this new moon in Taurus. And since it's literally happening as we are gathering here in this moment, if you can, I just invite you for a moment or two to close your eyes, or if you can, just become still and begin to open to receive the beautiful blessings of this new moon. And it is in Taurus, and Taurus is an earth sign. So it's very grounding. The sign of Taurus is the bull, and that invokes typically determination, strength, fortitude, grounding, and really embodying ourselves. Taurus is known for sensual pleasures, the finer things in life, and just really drop into that energy for a moment or two and just feel that abundance and the earth and fertility and regenerative energies just awakening in you in this moment of this new moon in Taurus. And breathe that energy into each and every cell of your body, coming out of the darkness of the moon and beginning to allow the light of these energies to awaken and invigorate our beings. And then as you're ready, you're welcome to keep your eyes closed and let my words wash over you. Or if you want to open your eyes at this point, you're welcome to as well. And we'll dive a little bit further into this specific new moon in Taurus. So the moon in Taurus is actually exalted here. So she really likes to be here. So it gives us an extra oomph. It gives us extra power to do what a new moon does best. And that is planting seeds, beginning new cycles. And it's actually playing out in this, this beautiful sky right now. So it has a lot of very favorable aspects happening. So it has a trine to Pluto, a sextile to Neptune, a square to Jupiter. Usually squares might be create a little combativeness or energy like that. But for Jupiter, which we'll talk a little bit about in a moment as well, Jupiter is the planet of expansion. So a square to Jupiter might bring like an overindulgence. So not necessarily so bad, but there's always the consequences with that. So anyhow, it's really a beautiful sky right now. And it's great to be taking advantage of really working with this new moon. So as I was sharing, Taurus is creating a soil that is very fertile. It's regenerative, and that is what is really inspiring to work with right now. So the interesting thing is too that nothing plays out in a silo. So we have this gorgeous sky right now, and that we've got some good stuff coming up over this next month. So during this new moon cycle. So Jupiter is going into Pisces on Thursday, And Pisces is where Jupiter is, it's one of its home signs. So it's happy there. And I'll talk more about that in a minute. But we have that coming up. And then towards the end of this week, Mercury is going retrograde. Or sorry, Mercury is going into its shadow, preparing to go retrograde later this month. And then we're going to be going into eclipse season with the full moon, so in 2 more weeks' time. So although this might be a great time of like planting seeds and really working with our intentions and what we're calling in, just know that whatever that is might be put on hold for a little while during this upcoming eclipse season and then the ensuing Mercury retrograde. So it's planting seeds now, which actually may end up helping us to move through this eclipse / Mercury retrograde season with greater ease and patience, maybe even greater understanding. But knowing that it's a little bit different and it's not our normal process of manifestation or growth. So our best laid plans might not come to fruition in the way that we would intend them to. And yet it's still really potent to be working with this. And another interesting thing to always consider that with any new moon, although we sometimes think about it in the current month cycle or 28-day cycle, it also has a greater arc. So this new moon in Taurus and what's being planted now, we want to maybe take some notes and journal about, because in 6 months' time, when we have the full moon in Taurus, we'll see really what is coming to fruition from the seeds that we've planted today as well. So really looking at it in that greater picture as well. So right now, take some simple pleasures in and through your community, through yourself. It's a good time to have a good meal, catch up with friends, perhaps a little overindulgence or indulgence, and just really enjoy yourself and feel that embodied energy. Then, kind of like I was starting to mention, Jupiter, who is the great benefactor, is entering into its home sign of Pisces. And Pisces is all about like massive expansion and being everywhere and nowhere and abundant and generous, compassionate heart. It's also, spirituality and so much more. So Jupiter is really happy here. It's really helpful, bountiful. Jupiter itself is expansion and abundance. It's kind of like that yes that the solar system gives us. So it's great to look at where that's happening in your personal chart and to begin to work with it. And so this week, having both the new moon in Taurus followed by Jupiter entering into Pisces, it's really a beautiful time. And so to really soak it up, because things might be a little more challenging as we enter eclipse season and Mercury retrograde. So really taking in that which we have to work with. And then just a little tidbit into Mercury retrograde. So we are entering into the shadow towards the end of this week. And so right now during the shadow phase, that's where Mercury is going to, so it's still moving forward, but once it stops and goes retrograde, it'll come back to that point of the shadow and then it'll go back forward. So now is a good time to begin practicing sorry, my kitty is very distracting and like stepping all over my keyboards. So to begin practicing interrupting unhelpful decisions and patterns, any of our distracting habits, anything that we don't want to have to come pick back up, because we're going to be going over it. So it's a great time for releasing it now so that when we come backwards over it, we're not having to deal with it again. So kind of clear out the pathway as much as you can, knowing that we'll be coming back. And we don't want to have to pick some things up later. So yeah, really just to make the most of this new moon in Taurus and Jupiter entering into Pisces this week. And I didn't share this when I first started, but I personally am not an astrologer. I tune into a lot of great, powerful astrologers in my life. And I will share, actually, Chani has that information, and in the follow-up email, she will include that. But I connected with Chani Nicholas, John Wadsworth, who's out of England, and Divine Harmony. So some great people to follow. I know there's so many amazing astrologers out there, but those are the three that I kind of tune into. So all of this wisdom is coming from them, and I'm just sharing it on to you. And then I know Amy is going to be walking you through an anointing process with some essential oils. And I myself, more than a year ago now, started creating essential oil blends for each of the signs of the zodiac. So really working with both the light, the characteristics that are considered the light, and also the shadow of each sign to really support us in these moments of working with a sign, whether it's in a new moon, a full moon, whether it's one of our birth signs, whether it's our sun, our moon, or our personal rising sign in our charts, or maybe we just have a planet in that sign that we're working with. So these were cultivated with that energy. And so the Taurus blend incorporates 5 different oils. The first being wild orange. Wild orange is known as the oil of abundance, and Taurus is all about abundance and opulence and beauty and passion and everything that is abundance, not just material, but also anything else in our life. So wild orange supports that energy. Then grapefruit is all about honoring the body and believing in one's self-worth. And as I mentioned before, Taurus, some of the energies of Taurus are really valuing ourselves and others and knowing our self-worth. Cypress is known as creating motion and flow. And as Taurus is a bull and oftentimes digs its heels in and gets stuck and stubborn, Cypress helps to keep the movement going when we're working with Taurus. I've also included jasmine here, which is really inviting sexual purity. It helps to balance excessiveness and embrace loyalty. And Taurus is really known for its loyalness. And then finally, patchouli. So patchouli is known as a very grounding, embodying oil. And again, as I shared at the beginning with Taurus, Taurus is really about earth, stability, embodying, being within our bodies in this experience. And also patchouli encourages moderation. So that balance with abundance, yet with moderation. So that is what I have blended in this Taurus blend for these times. And many blessings to you all and all the seeds that you're planting in this moment, and really enjoying and embracing and embodying the experience of it as it comes to fruition with the divine orchestration that is meant. Many blessings.
Jima. I love it so much. And thanks for sharing all the secrets of your recipes, because I know how dear those are to you and how much you've worked on them. And I do encourage everyone to get them because they are exquisite. And I really like, I really treasure how you spent so like over a year really sinking into each energy. It's amazing. And so yes, we'll include that in the information. And then for now, I just wanted to also sort of highlight the oils that we're going to focus on for the anointing practice, because there's some overlap, you know, with some of the oils that are in that blend. I guess really wild orange is the only one specifically, but some of the energies, and we'll get into those, are the same. And it just wanted me to, or it reminded me to want to share with everyone here that if you don't have the oils that I'm particularly using or that Gigi's just suggested, use what you have and go to the plant medicine or the resources maybe that you do have around you that inspire those energies, and cultivate a personal practice in that way. Because I do think that one of the things here in the New Moon Sangha that I really encourage for everyone over and over again is that this is very unscripted in this space. And I really encourage you to step into your intuition. And what I'm offering is just a suggestion. What Gigi's offering is her beautiful suggestion. And I just encourage you to really trust whatever is coming forward for you to support you right now. And in this practice that we're going to do, if you're going to make an essential oil blend, you know, you can get all those materials out, have a roller bottle, have some fractionated coconut oil, or whatever you want to use to top it off with. And then the order I'm going to use for us today is celery seed. We're starting out big, going heavy. Clary sage, Copaiba. How do you say it, Gigi?
I say it both ways. It depends on the day. Copaiba and Copaiba.
Me too. Okay. Then vetiver and cedarwood, and then wild orange. And I have crafted this blend based on our other sister's beautiful blend, Erin Fugate, who really inspired many of us in doTERRA, I think, to begin working with the new moons in a very serious way many years ago. And so I always like to give her credit, because the vetiver, cedarwood, wild orange is her sort of base blend for the new moon. And then these other three are ones that I've put in addition to those. And one of the things that I wanted to share with you too is this bottle that I use, I think is 3 years old now. And over the years, what I love about this is that I think each person has this amazing ability to cultivate a bottle that over time has layers. And for years, use the same bottle and make it a little different every year, and then use it completely. And now, like right now, there's a little bit left in this, you know? And so I have a choice. I don't have to use it again. Maybe I don't want to, but I personally like this idea of continuing to build and refine on where we've come from and not just throw it all out, you know? So as we begin, I'm taking the top of my bottle off here. Let's begin with the celery seed. Now, celery seed is such an intense oil. I wanted to share a little bit with you from this book, The Essential Life. And celery seed is a newer oil. And one of the reasons that it has come up for me and why I have found it to be helpful with many other people is there's this popular celery cleanse, this wonderful routine of having celery juice first thing in the morning. And this can be considered an alternative to that. And it's quite powerful in its detoxifying effects. So Yoni, if this isn't available in Europe, oh, maybe it is available. Yeah, there's alternatives though, and even, maybe just beginning celery juice in your life for this cycle and see what it's like. But for now, I think just take a moment and just have a chance to inhale. And I'm not going to invite you to actually do anything more with this at the moment, except just close your eyes and allow the earthiness, the qualities of the seed, and what Gigi was just sharing with us about the power that each seed holds and the potency that we have right now to connect with this pure potentiality that exists within each seed. And just consider what that offers you in this new moon. What seeds are you planting in your life? As we go through this practice, I do invite you to journal anything, write anything down that you want to come back to, any thoughts that come to mind, anything from your heart. And just let the celery seed go for now. At the very end, if you'd like to add that into your roller bottle, just one drop at the top, but you might prefer to leave that out and use that separately throughout the month. So we'll see. The next one we're going to go to is Clary Sage. And Clary Sage, as I often have suggested perhaps in the past, is to just take a drop on your finger and just let it come to the center of your forehead. And let's just allow ourselves to rub the whole forehead. I love to go over my eyebrows. I hold a lot of tension here in my forehead sometimes, and just feel like you can smooth out any tightness here from the center of the forehead. Maybe coming all the way back to the sides of the temples, even if you want to use both fingers. And when you're ready with that, let's just let one finger rest in the center of the forehead and perhaps let the head lower to the heart for a moment. And you can leave the finger there, or perhaps let the hand come down. But maybe you still notice where the finger was touching. And just take a few breaths here, allowing Clary Sage to come into this place where your vision and your mind, they come together. Here, offering you so much potential to see for yourself what is true for you. And with Clary Sage, the power of the mother and all of the archetypes of the feminine. They all exist here. In this new moon of Taurus, particularly allowing this creative spirit of whatever seeds we're planting, and how the mother holds the womb in her mind's eye. And when you're ready, just open your eyes. And next, let's go to Copaiba. That's how I'm saying it today. And one of the things I want to invite you to do is to place a drop under your tongue. And then just allow yourself to settle with that. And at the same time, if you'd like to place another drop in your palm and rub it over your belly, we just acknowledged how we hold the vision of what we're creating. And this womb space here at our belly. Just allowing Copaiba to help activate and connect above and below. Perhaps even you'd like to keep one finger at the center of the forehead and one at the low abdomen. And just for the next few breaths, just allow the breath to move in and out as you feel where the hands touch the body. Noticing perhaps where they come together and connect. And when you're ready, just opening your eyes. And now let's come to VETIVER. And let's place VETIVER, please, on the arches of our feet. And VETIVER is so thick and luscious. Sometimes it's nice to rub it in the palm of your hands and warm it up if it's quite cold. And then be patient as you wait. And let's just take a drop or two. And then when you're ready, just allow, and you might even want to put it directly on the feet, totally up to you. Let's allow the hands to massage the feet from the heel all the way up the arch of the foot, going in circles around the joints, around the joint of the big toe, and then going all the way up to the tip of the big toe. And please do take your time, just inhaling the oil. And I also invite you, if you do this practice in the evening, VETIVER is very helpful for sleep at night. So give yourself some time to massage VETIVER into your feet, help you really ground down. This is one to, as Gigi was talking with, work with right now in terms of really bringing us into balance and moderation in our connection with the earth. And so this centering and descent that we have reinforced with VETIVER. Gigi used patchouli in hers. So when you're done with that, please come to Cedarwood and just take a drop in the palm of your hands if you'd like, and just inhale deeply for a moment here. Cedarwood is the oil of community. And with this new moon, let's allow our hands perhaps to come to the low back here and acknowledge the support that we receive from our community that is behind us, literally holding us up sometimes. We have so many wonderful people in our lives. And we were just talking about how important it is to remember all of the community that exists and really be grateful for what we have. Loving up my adrenals right now as I do this. Taking your time to really love your body in whatever way it wants to be loved and appreciated. This is your practice. So just sink into those little places around your hips, maybe around all of your organs in the front and the back, around your belly, under your ribs. Acknowledging the community of organs that are in relationship with each other and how they're all working together to support you. And when you are done with that and you feel complete, let's come to wild orange. And I love finishing with wild orange because it is so uplifting. So any citrus here is just a beautiful way for us to, I think, remember this gratitude, this abundance that it's known for, and a way to remember that we are always supported, and that we are always cared for, even in the midst of what can feel really heavy sometimes. There is an abundance that is supporting us and helping us. So you can use this in so many ways. If you have a glass of water with you right now, maybe put a drop in there, like I'm going to. You also could just put a drop in the palm of your hands and rub together. And you could either, I do suggest you either put it then on the soles of the feet and continue massaging into the whole foot, maybe continuing to get in between all the toes a little more. Or else, because all of you, I think I see here today, have long hair, put it in your hair and let yourself intoxicate your environment and everyone around you where you go with this wonderful feeling of abundance. And in our house, we call this the happy oil, right? Literally, it's the happy oil. You're smiling. I see it. Maybe. So I do just want to remind you, though, the citrus oils are photosensitive. So that's why I suggest you not put them anywhere else on your skin necessarily that's going to be exposed to the sun. So if you would like to put those oils in the roller bottle that you have in front of you, let's come back to that for just a moment. Is anyone else going to do that right now? Or I can just share the recipe later. So you have it ready to go in front of you? No, you don't. Okay. So I'm going to share the drops later for how many you can put into each of those, so that we can make that later. And for now, let's open this up for everyone to share. So I'm going to stop the recording. Thank you for participating in this, and do, if you're not here live, email, get in touch and let us know what your intention is, what seeds you're planting right now, and how we can support you. So, new moon blessings.